Okay, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna be painting this miniature of a Aztec princess. I know she's in a weird position, but that's because she's actually riding on this panther, which I've already finished with base and everything. And there are videos on the channel showing how I painted this and how I made the base. There's a short for the base and a long format video for the panther. So if you haven't seen those, go check them out. I show you step by step how I make them. Let's get back to our princess. These are the colors that I usually use for skin tones. Right, I start with Naples yellow. I go into this champagne, which is kind of the same thing with a little bit of orange to it. This is a sienna, and I'm going to use sienna to shade it at the end from underneath to give it those nice skin volumes. I'm going to be using an airbrush for this, and right now, because I've already applied the Naples yellow after the primer, I'm just gonna hit it with the champagne. I'm targeting the skin more than anything else. Sorry for the extra sounds, but I want the vapors to be going that way. Right now I'm not actually spraying the color, I'm just using the air to dry it. So that's why I'm just going wild about it. I'm not actually spraying any color. I'm just forcing the drying process a bit. One second. I think we have this common occurrence where paint builds up on the needle, and we gotta clean it up a little bit. And I'm just gonna grab it off. Just be careful when you do this not to bend your needle. I have bent a needle before. I mean, it also depends on the needle. This one's a bit stronger. I think it's like stainless steel or something, so it has a bit of flex to it, and it has taken a lot of punishment, so I think it's a bit more durable. I know that you probably can't tell much right now, but the shade is actually changing. Let me bring on some more light. Oh my God, sit, let there be light. Okay, there was light. There we go. You can hopefully see that there has been a shift from the Naples to the champagne, and the skin looks a bit more natural. Right, so now that that layer is done, I'm just gonna hit it with some sienna. Yep, we got a bit of build up on the needle. Give me 1 second. There we go. So we do have a lot of build up from some of these paints. Generally the one that says on the bottle opaque, I think they have something in it. Something additional compared to the ones that are like translucent and keeps doing this. There we go. Again, gotta put it down. See, it builds up on the needle, and then the paint coming out of the needle just disperses instead of actually hitting your target. So you gotta keep that in mind. There we go. Again, we got a bit of build up. Let's see if I can get it off. No, I can't. So I need to put this down. It's a back and forth game until you get the tones done, the values. Go. That's a little bit better. We don't want to go too intense. Go. Yeah, I think that's good. Yep, I think I can live with that. Skin looks good. I'm gonna hit it with a transparent layer, so varnish, right? And then let it dry. There we go. That should be enough. Gonna let it dry and we'll come back and continue. Right, so I'm back. I have my wet palette here. I've run out of the, parchment stuff, so I've just cut my own out of grease paper, the baking kind. Good thing I do like to bake, so I have some of that as well. So yeah, I think we're gonna go by hand, and we're just going to finish this miniature. I have here some sap green. I think this is light sap green. The other one's Prussian, and this one is the one that I cannot understand how you're supposed to pronounce this. So I'm just gonna say this is green from the Mesozoic era. Yeah, and we're gonna use the green for her suit. So everything she's got on as clothes is gonna go green. That's why we got 3 shades of green to try and make it as beautiful and as nice as possible with some edge highlights and so on. We have feathers here and horns. The horns are going to be ivory and then maybe touch with a little black here and there. For the feathers, I'm going to use this Indian yellow, which is very beautiful, goes towards an orange. It has a very nice coverage. And I think I'm going to use the same red that I'm going to use to highlight the hair. The hair is going to be this sangria red, which is more of a brown pushed towards the extreme of the red. A bit of gold for her earrings, bracelets, whatnot. We have some silver here we're going to use on the weapon. Of course, black in case I need it for any elements, or maybe at the end I'll just make a wash out of it. I think that's about it for the time being. I'm gonna need some ivory for some of the wood and cloth elements here, just to bring them back after I paint some of that stuff so that I can recolor them. But overall, I think that's about it. Right now, I'm having a hard time deciding where to begin. I think I'm gonna begin with the feathers, because the feathers are going to be a bit more complicated. I'm gonna get some of this yellow. It's already super diluted. Let's try and get it in there. We want to go only halfway on the feathers, because going halfway means we're gonna have room to use the red to cover the top. Don't worry about the hair, you know, touching it is not an issue. Touching other elements is not a problem, especially not with this yellow, which can easily be covered. Okay, that looks beautiful. There we go. Some of that beautiful yellow. I'm gonna get in there now as much as I can. Right. Trying not to get it everywhere, but as I said, it matters very little. Because we're always able to fix stuff. The skin, I've varnished this after I finish the skin, just in case I touch something. I can always use a little bit of alcohol to clean it up. But you gotta be very gentle with the alcohol, because it can burn through the polyurethane varnish. And it can remove colors as well, so you gotta be very careful when you're doing that. But there are solutions, right? So or you can always paint over it, paint on top. Recover it like that, but depending on the color that you touch things with, it may be harder to fix it. Okay, just gonna go around. This is gonna be like a second coat, but it is still somewhat wet. This is very translucent as a color, and it will subside, and it will give some visibility to the color underneath. It will create a bit of a contrast there. Okay, let's see what we can do with the red. I'm gonna start here on the back as well. This red is somewhat translucent. I'm trying to keep it at an angle, see, like this, like feathers would be. There we go. So I think the way I'm going to do the hair, these reds are not gonna conflict. Her hair's gonna be way darker. Go. This red is beautiful, I love it. I'll out of this set of paints, which is one of the cheapest stuff that you can buy on Amazon. And let's face it, the Citadel paints are extremely, extremely expensive. I've touched it there, we don't need to. I will correct it as such. There we go. I think it already looks nice. I think there are some spots there where I've messed with the yellow, and I'm gonna have to go back. Twist your Mini as much as you need to get into the spots that are a bit more difficult. There we go, that's beautiful. I started with these feathers because I thought they were going to be a lot more difficult than this. But in honesty, this has not been difficult at all. And I think they already look super vibrant. There we go. It's beautiful. Tidy it up a bit where we've touched or where we haven't touched it properly before we move to the front. That looks good. Just remember, it is varnished, so I can't touch the pieces. It's not gonna be an issue. I'm not gonna damage it. Not as gentle as I usually am with these things. I don't have any fears. And this polyurethane varnish is quite good from Vallejo or Vallejo or whatever, however you want to say it. I think it is Vallejo, and as they are Spanish, the company is Spanish if I'm not wrong. Gracias para eso, es muy bueno, Vallejo. It's actually very good, that varnish. Some of their primers, like for example, this one's really good. I've almost run out of this one, the gray one. I don't know if you can still see it says gray there. This one's really good. The gray one's really good. This one, however, the Panzer Gray, I've had a bit of an issue with it. I like it as a color, I absolutely love it. But for some reason, it seems to have some issues with the resin. Sometimes it just doesn't want to stick to it, or it comes off quite easily, which is a bit weird. And I have tried both of the varnishes on pieces printed with the same type of resin, and the white one doesn't seem to have that much of an issue, while the white, I say white, but you know what I mean, the lighter gray one doesn't seem to have any issues, while the other one seems to be struggling sometimes. But yeah, I guess there's always going to be that element of new materials, maybe new substances and chemicals within the resins, because they keep reformulating them. But yeah, I've observed that if you let it dry for a longer period of time, the issues tend to go away. Or apply them in like two thin coats, a few hours apart. And again, the situation seems to subside. It's a lot more manageable, and you don't get as many issues, because the problem is with edges sometimes, because you touch the miniature, and where there are sharp edges like here, you will just rub off the primer, and I just couldn't understand why. But moving on, we're almost done with these feathers here. I think this tutorial is going to be a little bit longer because I did not pause because I was talking too much. So I didn't pause the recording. but I will at some point, and then come back when everything is like touched up. There we go. My hands are in an uncomfortable position and they're a bit shaky because of the strain on my wrists. You can see this is really tiny. It has some very tiny elements and they're super, super beautiful, but sometimes it can be difficult to get in there and get that coverage that you're looking for on all of these textured lines here, because the feathers are super textured, which I love, don't get me wrong. Sculptors, thank you, this is wonderful. I do sculpt as well, but I don't do it digitally. I'm not that good at it because I haven't had time to actually learn the programs, but I do it by hand. Traditional sculpting, well, I use polymer clay because sculpting in like the natural clays, I've done it for a while, but it's exhausting on the hands. Polymer clay is way more reliable. You don't need a kiln to fire things. You just put it in your oven, in your conventional oven at about 125 degrees Celsius. You bake the polymer clay piece. It's absolutely fine. It's safe for you to bake it there. And then you can just vent your oven and cook into it. I hope there aren't any issues generated by cooking that clay in it. All right. Let me see. Well, I think the headdress looks interesting with these two colors barely touching each other there. Go. You can, if you want, with these kinds of things, you can put an orange in between them, kind of try to work a bit of a gradient, but as tiny as they are, I'm not gonna bother with that. Some things are just a bit absurd, in my opinion, you know. I appreciate people that go the extra mile and like paint every single line and all of that stuff, but bro, once you have kids and you settle down, ain't nobody got time for that. If you know what I mean. So you gotta do the best you can with the time you have. Right, so I gotta go back in with some yellow over there. I gotta clean my brush for a second. I'll be right back. Okay, so I think the feathers on the hairdress are okay. On the back, I've angled them down a little bit more. I think they look quite good. I'm just checking it from the distance, the optimal viewing distance, because you know miniatures are not supposed to be like this close to your face, right? But even if it is this close to the face, it still looks decent. Yeah, I think it looks all right. Let's try and add some of this dark green to some of the clothes. See where it takes us. Just gonna block in as much as I can. Right, so just about there. There we go. Just block it in here as well. It's probably gonna need 2 coats because it's just too thin. Covers well, especially over this color, but it's gonna need 2 coats most definitely. It's just the way it is. But I really do like this green. It's not that dark. Right, so I'm just gonna do all of it and I'll come right back because this is gonna take a while. Okay, so I did do the whole swimsuit. Let's call it a swimsuit because that's what it looks like. And I think this green looks really nice. I did go ahead and I've added a little bit of the Prussian green here, here, and here. I don't think you can actually see the difference in the shades, but it is there. So, yep. So let's carry on. We're gonna do the hair. I think would be the next endeavor. So we're gonna do the hair here. I'm gonna start off with this darker sangria red, which weirdly enough and oddly enough it says it's a light red, but I think it's more of a brown red. Well, it does cover quite well. So I'm gonna be very careful on the yellow there. And it is also translucent, so you can still see the details underneath. Okay, we don't want to insist, we don't want to get it streaky. We want to get it over all of it. Patience. I'll be right back once it's done. Okay, so here we have the hair. It's all been done. And the eyebrows, of course. It's looking all right. Some of that color underneath is still showing through here and there. It will probably require a bit of a touch-up. There. Everything else is fine because I will dry brush a lighter red on top of it. Well, there we have it. The hair is done. Let's put some gold on her and see how that looks. We have some nice Dwarven gold here. This color is from scale 95, if I'm not wrong. Scale color, scale 75. Excuse me. I don't want to go too heavy because I do want these elements to show, because we're going to tint them a little bit to make them look a bit more evident. So that's why I'm going super light with this gold. Go on the corner there. There we go. That looks a lot better. Yep. This element here is going to be gold as well. And then I'll probably come back and I'll touch up that skull if I don't want it gold, but I think I'm gonna leave it gold because it looks good. Yeah, it looks really good in gold. Let's touch up her earrings a little bit. just to kind of show you where all the gold's gonna go. There we go. And she's got bracelets, which as well are going to be gold. Yeah. And I'll be right back once these are all done properly. Okay, so the gold is done. The bracelets, the earrings, the pendant, and of course the headdress. Hopefully all of that is in focus. And now we're gonna try and do the lips. There we go. A little bit better. There we go. Look at those beautiful lips. We're getting there. We're getting there. These two gems here. I'm gonna make them red. And then I'll paint the whole mask and the bones there. And we have the spear left. There we go. So I've done the gems there, and then I went in with this very fine brush with some diluted black, and I just touched those lines there, like so. Right, and around those sockets, and of course inside of that nose there. Yeah, and there we have it. It looks beautiful. I'm going to use a little bit of highlighting on these bones here. I think I want to do this in ivory because it looks a little bit better. And I think I need to touch up there with a little bit of this for the hair. I can actually get in there. Trying from the side. I need just a tad bit more paint on the brush. Because there was a portion of hair there that I did not touch with any paint earlier. I didn't even see that it is in there. There we go. It's not perfect, but it's close enough. And I've touched the gold here with a little bit of that brown, so we're just gonna remove that. There we go. That should do the trick. Yeah, let me just grab some ivory and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got the ivory here. And I also managed to get a bit of the dry stuff from the side of the tube. There we go. I'm gonna take some of it, give it a bit of water. That should be a bit better. Give it a bit more water, because this one's pretty viscous because it comes from a tube of one of the Pebeos that I've shown you in other videos. Okay, so it doesn't really make that much of a difference there. I can correct some of that staining. There we go. Yep, that's a bit better. There we go. We're gonna use a mixture of this and titanium white probably to do a bit of a highlight. Okay, let's see. I'm not gonna go just pure white because I don't think it's the best of ideas. Okay, just a tad bit, not a lot. Then we take some of this white, pure white, touch it up there a little bit, there, give it a highlight. I think I need a bit more water here. Okay, that should be a bit better. Okay, that's a bit better. There we go. That looks good. It's not too chic, not too shabby. Looks just right. Let me see if this phone is focusing properly. And then we have it. It's almost done. Let's get some of this brown because we have a stick to paint. I think the end of this stick should be made in gold, but we'll see. I think I'll just come back and do it in gold after this. But it's fine if I paint it in brown. It's not gonna be bothered. Gold looks good on brown. It may actually create a beautiful effect. Just need some more paint. I'm doing a mixture of like normal brushing and some stapling here and there because it's got like an indentation around there. So I want to get in there as well. We have full coverage. There we go. It's not bad. I think it's gonna need several coats to cover properly. It's just not getting there. Yep, we're gonna have to leave it to dry at this side and do the opposite one. And once that's done, we're gonna move on to the blade. Oh, and I forgot there's a feather on the actual spear. I'm gonna have to do that one as well. Just remember to angle your brush the way that it helps you reach in there and make sure you cover everything you need to with that color. I'm not bothered if I get on the cloth a little bit. I just need that coverage there. That's more important. There we go. That looks so much better now. Okay. I'm running out of paint and I'm pulling it away instead of actually applying it. There we go. That looks good. Looks all right. Gonna let it dry. Probably coming with a second coat, and then we gotta do a bit of dry brushing with some ochre on it to bring that wood texture to surface. Okay, so I'm back. My phone's battery died during the painting process, so while it was charging, I have gone in and I've done the face and the eyes, and I've touched up some of the elements. It would have been impossible for me to do the face this good under the camera because my face would be bumping in the phone when I'd be trying to actually paint it. It's difficult to see from here where I'm supposed to put the paint, you know, so hence why. I hope you like it. I think the face came out quite nice. And I've done a bit of red here, and I've added a second coat of the brown. It now looks purple. It looks purple. It now looks better, and I think it's okay. We're gonna deal with this spear here and add some gold at the end of this spear here, and overall it should be done. We got some feathers here. Let's deal with the feathers first. Just gonna paint them the same colors as the ones on her headdress, whatever you call it. The feathers are on both sides, so I gotta go on both sides and at the top here. There we go. With this yellow you can always go the full size and then just add the red at the tip on top of the yellow, and it will not make a difference. I mean, the red is far more powerful than this yellow. Just touch this from the underside. Now let's see. There we go. And we add the red as well. Yeah, that is part of the feather. I thought for a second that was part of the actual blade, but it was not. There we go, that looks good. Keep it at an angle. Let's see on this side. This side. Do that. And so, there we go. Multiple angles there. We touch up that tip and underneath. There we go. That's so much better. So yeah, the feathers are better now. Rinse the brush a bit. Maybe just give it a second coat of that yellow. Go. Just makes it a bit stronger in color. bit more of that yellow pigment. There we go. That should be good enough. Yep, looks all right. Let's add some more red on the red area, because the one on the headdress is so much more intense than this. There we go. That's about right. And then we have the feathers done. And now we're gonna use a different brush, because that one's very small, we don't need that one. And we're going to paint the blade black. And this time I'm not gonna use the Mars black that I've used for the face and all of that. I'm gonna use a better one. This is a darker and it has a lot more pigmentation to it. So it should cover better, yeah. Because that one has a bit of an issue with coverage. Okay, that's good. We just want this blade to be dark, so we can add our silver after. There we go. Oops, I've touched it too soon there. Okay, so one side is done. We're gonna let it dry. Just gonna cover this side real quick. There are some people like to make these like heavy metal, like they say, not heavy, but or non-metallic metal, or whatever you want to call it, but I'm not gonna bother. I love my silver, and I like the way the silver looks over the black. I just love it, so I think that's the best solution for me. Maybe for a different piece that will have a bigger blade, maybe I'll do one of those, so I can make a tutorial on that as well, you know. I'm no expert, I'm just your everyday, ordinary artist, enthusiast. To be honest, until about 3 months ago, I had never painted a mini. But that didn't mean that I didn't have the skills, it just meant I didn't do it. I didn't feel the need to, you know. But lately I've been painting a lot of pieces, a lot of large ones, and at some point I looked through my files of miniatures, which I have, and I have millions of them, because for a very long period of time, since 3D printing came along and all of that, both me and my wife, we've been subscribed to like a lot of people that design STLs and stuff, and we've amassed a massive collection, millions of STLs. We've also bought packs and stuff from other vendors online and stuff, and now we have a lot of STLs. So I have a lot of things to print and paint, and this one's one of them. All right, so this miniature is from one of those STLs. I don't remember exactly, but I think it's Artisan Guild that made this. Don't quote me on it because I don't remember, but I think it is. And if it is and I remember right, shout out to them. It's hard for me to remember because it's just been so many. and new people kept coming along. I've seen one now that had a subscription on Patreon for about $3, and that was their like premium. And they were making miniatures, and they were very interesting. And I was like, should I again get more of these? When I ended the assignment with my job, I put an end to a lot of things because we just could not keep up, you know, with the bills and things and all of those things on top. And we also have 2 kids that we need to put on the first place and make sure they have everything they need, regardless of how it's going for us. And that's what happens when you have kids. You've made them to love them, take care of them, and make sure they end up decent human beings. That's about it. You gotta put them first all the time, regardless of how much you'd want to do something else with your resources. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry a little bit because I don't want to move that black too much. So I think I've already moved it there. Or it's probably like that because it's reflecting too much light and I can't figure it out. My eyes cannot see the difference because the paint is too glossy and I can't tell whether I missed a spot or the light is just reflecting too intensely. I think we got it now. And while that is drying, let's just move to the back of the spear and do that in gold. Let me just clean this brush a little bit. This black is really good, but it stains the brush a lot. Even after you wash it, it just stains it. But I do wash my brushes with soap. All right, I have a piece of glycerin soap here, which I rub my brushes like this. And I wash them. And I use the cap. This is a box from Nivea cream. And from the mold, it has this pin here. And I just do this with my brush right on top of it. And it gets in between the hairs and it cleans out that paint, that annoying paint that doesn't want to get out, without actually damaging the tip of my brush, see? Which is good. It's called improvising. And if you guys haven't been doing it, you should really try it. That gets the brush clean. See, when I squeeze it, it's not black that badly anymore, you know? It's just that if you keep washing them and you do it repeatedly, you're going to have to go change the water because, excuse me, the soap gets in the water and then it gets in the paints and so on. So you don't want to do that. Be careful with that type of contamination. You really don't want to do that. Okay, that's gonna be enough for me to just dry brush it. I still think I need a bit of black there. You see, there's a spot in there where I did not get in properly because I was afraid of touching the feathers. But now that's done. I'm not gonna do anything to this right here because I want to dry brush the blade first and then I want to do this in red because otherwise I'm just gonna get a ton of silver on it and it's just, I'm gonna have to fix it anyway. Let me just touch this point up here. There we go. And add some more red in random spots, not all over the place, so that we get a variation in that red. And now we're gonna do this part of it, which is the same thing, right? It's a part where the cloth is still visible from the spear. I don't know if you can see anything when I keep it like this. But if you want to get it just right without touching other stuff, you gotta do these. I call it miniature acrobatics. When you flip them over and you try to paint from a weird angle. That's what you're doing. It's miniature acrobatics. We should start a Olympics for it. There we go. Barely touching the surface there. That looks really good. Let's see if I can manage to get in there without touching the hand. Yes, that's pretty tight there. Okay, and now I don't even know how to hold it anymore. You're not gonna see this, but I gotta get in there. I'll show you after. Right, so it's a spot right in there underneath, which I just, from this angle I cannot, because I can't see it properly and I can't reach. But now it's done. And it doesn't look that bad. Looks half decent. There we go. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Let's rinse this brush and find our gold, which has started losing moisture and it turns into this weird purplish. This one's got purple in it. Somehow that purple makes it look a bit different than other golds. Because I do have some other golds, and when they lose the moisture, they turn to different colors. One's to black, one is to a brown, I think, something like that. They show the actual colors from the mix, you know. Okay, that's good. Let's see. There we go. Getting it all over and all across. It's not bad. Could have touched the wood there a little bit, but it was just a tiny dot. Okay, that doesn't look bad. Right. Get the gold off the brush. There we go. And I need a bit of black, just a tad bit. I'm just gonna touch right in there. There we go, looks better. Much better. Let's see, did our black dry? It did not. Okay, we're gonna take a short break. I'll be right back. Okay, and we are back. The black has dried, and in the meantime I went and I diluted some of this brown here with some water, and I've touched all the creases just a little bit to push the skin even further. And look at the soles of the feet. See? I think it's looking better. The hand, if you can see in between the fingers, and here in this area, right, the armpit. And I think now it's time to do the spear with the silver. I'm just gonna stick a bit of water on the dry brush, grab some of that silver. And I'm doing it in a way in which it catches the edges more. have some sharper edges there. There we go. See if I can do this one. Okay, that should be good. Oh my goodness. I've just dropped it, but it's good that I've only dropped it in paint there. See, stuff like this can happen when you're trying to record and you're above your get it out. We need a big brush. Let's see. Go. Good thing it only dropped in the area where it was gold, and it dropped in ochre, which is kind of like gold without the metallic, you know. Now we clean it up a bit. There we go. That was good. It did not fall in something much more complex. Everything else seems all right. It didn't touch anything else. Nope. That's good. It's perfect. So no issues there. Just gotta be a bit more careful. Let's grab some more of that silver because I just want to touch this one up here. A little bit more. Yeah. There we go. The edges. That edge underneath. There we go. That should be good enough. Yep. Let's see. Let's fix the area that we've touched with ochre. Wipe that off. There we go. If it would have waited a little bit, maybe I would have used the ochre to highlight the stick. And it would have had some use. It wasn't for nothing. But just gonna go back with the gold and fix this. There we go. And then we'll add some more black into the recess once the gold is done drying. There we go. That looks better. So much better. Good. While that gold is drying, let's try and do the whatever this is, fabric or something else. Let's just do it red like the other one on this, the spear. Hopefully this time without dropping the miniature in the paint. I was lucky there. I was really, really lucky there that I didn't drop it in something more destructive as a color. There we go. That looks better. That's good. Yeah, looks nice. We could add a blood effect on the spear if you want. All you gotta do is grab some of this very bright red and go across, and then low, 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 and like dripping off the corner here. Like it is pulling there. See? Yep. Same thing. Tip. Dot, 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 dot. Make it look like it's dripping right there. Something like that. There we go. Yep. And there we have it. We have some blood effect on the spear. And we can also drop some of this brown in there as well with the sangria. Just a few dots here and there, and it will make it look like there's a drying blood on it. There we go. We let that dry. We're gonna varnish her so we don't have any more mistakes. So we're gonna add some of that black in the recess again there. There we go. That should be good. Yep, and it is done overall. I just need to varnish it and glue it to the panther, and I think the princess is done. She's been a very interesting model to paint. Lots of details, despite the small scale. She's literally full of details. So yeah, it was a really beautiful sculpt, and I enjoyed it a lot. I hope you did as well. And we're gonna go into the glamour shots after this, because there's no point, you've already seen me varnish things. It's not that complicated. Yeah, overall this is impressive. I didn't think it would come out this nice. But I do think it looks quite nice. Let me know in the comments what you think though. If you would have done something else, other techniques. I was thinking at some point of adding a tattoo here on her leg. Just a freehand, you know, like a tribal tattoo. But I think she looks gorgeous the way she is. And she's already got a ton of details. You don't want other things to like distract you from it. Yeah, I think she's gonna look amazing on the panther. But we will see it in the glamour shots. So yeah, if you've managed to stay with me until the end of the video, thank you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing that. Leave me a like if you did. Subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Wait for the glamour shots. Bye bye.